October 25, 2017. A Ryanair flight touches down in Athens, Greece. Among the passengers disembarking that afternoon was a woman in her late 30s. Elegant, composed, unremarkable to the casual observer. But this wasn't just any passenger. This was Ruja Ignatova, Oxford-educated, McKinsey consultant, self-proclaimed crypto queen. And she was about to vanish with $4 billion of other people's money. No one has seen her since. 7 years later, she remains one of the FBI's 10 most wanted fugitives. The only woman on that list. A $5 million reward hangs over her head. But here's the question that haunts investigators across 3 continents. Is she even still alive? Ruja Plamonova Ignatova was born on May 30, 1980, in Ruse, Bulgaria. Her father was a mechanical engineer, her mother a nursery school teacher. The family was Romani, navigating life in the final years of communist Bulgaria. When Ruja was 10 years old, the Iron Curtain fell. Her family seized the opportunity, emigrating to Germany in 1990. They settled in Schramberg, a small town in Baden-Württemberg. Teachers noticed her immediately. Brilliant but arrogant. She skipped grades. Finished her law education in 2.5 years instead of 5. By all accounts, she was exceptional, and she knew it. According to court documents and verified academic records, Ignatova's credentials were genuine. In 2005, she earned a PhD in private international law from the University of Constance in Germany. She studied at Oxford University, obtaining a master's degree in European law. She worked as a consultant at McKinsey & Company, advising major banks and financial institutions across Eastern Europe. But beneath the glittering resume, there were warning signs. In 2012, Ignatova and her father were convicted of fraud in Germany. They had purchased the Waltenhofen steelworks after it filed for bankruptcy, promising to save the company and protect jobs. Instead, court filings reveal they secretly sold the company to another buyer who immediately declared bankruptcy again. Machinery was stripped and shipped to Bulgaria. 160 workers lost their jobs. Ignatova was given a suspended sentence of 14 months imprisonment. She left Germany shortly after. It was the first domino. But no one was watching closely enough. By 2014, Ignatova was living between London, Sofia, and Dubai. She had acquired a taste for luxury, designer clothes, expensive jewelry, penthouses with views. But she wanted more. She wanted to be legendary. That year, she met Sebastian Greenwood, a Swedish entrepreneur with a background in multi-level marketing schemes. Together, they conceived something audacious. They would create a cryptocurrency. Not just any cryptocurrency, the Bitcoin killer. In emails recovered by U.S. prosecutors, the early correspondence between Ignatova and Greenwood reveals their true intentions. On June 11, 2014, Ignatova wrote to Greenwood about their business plan, stating in part, "It might not be something really clean, or that I normally work on, or even can be proud of, except with you in private when we make the money." They even had a nickname for their creation. Internal emails show they called it Trashy Coin. The world would know it as OneCoin. OneCoin launched in late 2014. Ignatova positioned herself as the visionary, the doctor, the entrepreneur who would democratize wealth. Greenwood became the lead distributor, building a massive multi-level marketing network to spread the gospel. According to U.S. Department of Justice court documents, OneCoin operated as both a pyramid scheme and a Ponzi scheme. Here's how it worked. Members purchased educational packages on cryptocurrency trading. These packages ranged from €100 to 118,000 euros. Court filings reveal that much of this so-called educational content was plagiarized directly from Wikipedia and other free sources. But the education was never the point. Each package came with tokens that members could supposedly use to mine OneCoins. The company claimed mining was taking place at servers in 2 locations in Bulgaria and 1 in Hong Kong. They claimed OneCoin had a blockchain, just like Bitcoin. They claimed the value was determined by market supply and demand. All of it was a lie. According to testimony from OneCoin's co-founder, Carl Sebastian Greenwood, who later pleaded guilty to fraud, there was no blockchain, no mining, no decentralized currency. OneCoin was a centralized database that Ignatova and her associates controlled completely. They simply set the price themselves. The value started at 50 euro cents per coin. By January 2019, they had artificially inflated it to nearly 30 euros per coin. This story is just getting deeper. If this shocks you already, hit subscribe and tell us in the comments where you're watching from. The only way to exchange OneCoins was through the company's internal marketplace called XCoinX. Members could supposedly convert their OneCoins to euros, which would go into a virtual wallet for wire transfer. But there were severe restrictions. Daily selling limits, constant technical problems. In March 2016, OneCoin shut down the marketplace for 2 weeks, claiming maintenance due to the high number of miners. When it reopened, nothing had changed. In January 2017, it shut down again. This time, permanently. Investors were trapped. Billions of euros locked in a system with no exit. But Ignatova was just getting started. She understood that legitimacy required spectacle. In June 2016, she rented Wembley Arena in London. Nearly 10,000 OneCoin believers packed the stadium. Ignatova walked on stage in a flowing ball gown, fireworks exploding, Alicia Keys' "Girl on Fire" blasting through the speakers. She told the crowd that OneCoin would be the #1 cryptocurrency worldwide. That in 2 years, nobody would speak about Bitcoin anymore. The audience erupted in applause. She had convinced them they were part of a revolution. In reality, according to prosecutors, they were victims of one of the largest fraud schemes in history. Records obtained during the investigation show that between the 4th quarter of 2014 and the 3rd quarter of 2016 alone, OneCoin generated over 3.35 billion euros in sales revenue. The company earned so-called profits of 2.23 billion euros. By 2017, OneCoin claimed to have over 3 million members worldwide in 175 countries. U.S. prosecutors would later allege the total fraud exceeded $4 billion. The scheme targeted emerging markets, Asia, Africa, Eastern Europe, India, countries where people dreamed of financial security but lacked deep knowledge of cryptocurrencies. In Uganda, the Bank of Uganda issued warnings. In Nigeria, the central bank did the same. But the warnings came too late for thousands of African investors who had already purchased OneCoin packages, many using their life savings. According to investigative reports, even churches were used to recruit victims. In Samoa, ministers from 2 large churches acted as OneCoin promoters, targeting indigenous Pacific Islander communities. For every person who got rich from commissions, thousands more lost everything. OneCoin wasn't Ignatova's first brush with deception, and it wasn't her associates' first fraud scheme either. According to court testimony and investigative journalism, many key OneCoin figures had backgrounds in pyramid schemes and multi-level marketing scams. Sebastian Greenwood, her co-founder, had previously been involved in similar ventures. But what makes OneCoin particularly insidious is how it exploited a specific moment in time. 2014 to 2017 was the early era of cryptocurrency. Bitcoin had gone from $0 to over $500. Ordinary people felt they'd missed out. They were desperate for the next opportunity. They wanted to believe that financial revolution was possible. Ignatova understood this hunger. She positioned OneCoin as accessible, simple, for everyone, no technical knowledge required. Just trust the doctor with the Oxford degree and the McKinsey credentials. In a September 11, 2016 email exchange, Greenwood wrote to Konstantin Ignatov, Ruja's brother, referring to OneCoin investors. He stated, "These people are idiots." Konstantin replied, "As you told me, the network would not work with intelligent people. They weren't just stealing money, they were mocking the victims while doing it." By 2017, the walls were closing in. Multiple countries had issued warnings. Bulgaria's Financial Supervision Commission, Norway's Direct Selling Association, Italy's Antitrust Authority, which banned all OneCoin activity in the country, Hungary's Central Bank. The UK's Financial Conduct Authority launched an investigation. In China, authorities arrested several OneCoin members and seized $30.8 million in assets. In India, police arrested 18 people at a recruitment event and charged Ignatova with duping investors. Behind the scenes, U.S. authorities were building a case. According to BBC reporting and court documents, Ignatova had been dating an American lawyer. But federal investigators believe she bugged his apartment. That's how she discovered he was cooperating with a U.S. probe into OneCoin. On October 12, 2017, a federal grand jury in New York indicted Ignatova. Conspiracy to commit wire fraud. Conspiracy to commit money laundering. A federal judge issued a warrant for her arrest. 13 days later, she was scheduled to speak at a major OneCoin event in Lisbon, Portugal. Thousands of investors were waiting. She never showed up. According to FBI records, on October 25, 2017, Ignatova boarded a Ryanair flight from Sofia, Bulgaria to Athens, Greece. She may have been tipped off about the indictment. She may have known that international authorities were coordinating her arrest. When that plane landed in Athens, Ruja Ignatova stepped into the terminal and vanished. She left chaos behind her. In March 2019, her brother Konstantin Ignatov was arrested at Los Angeles International Airport. He pleaded guilty to fraud and money laundering charges. He's currently cooperating with prosecutors. Carl Sebastian Greenwood was arrested in Thailand in July 2018. He pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 20 years in federal prison. He was also ordered to forfeit approximately $300 million. Mark Scott, a former partner at the international law firm Locke Lord, laundered approximately $400 million of OneCoin proceeds. According to U.S. Department of Justice filings, Scott created fake private equity investment funds in the British Virgin Islands called the Finero Funds. He disguised incoming transfers as investments from wealthy European families, when in fact the money was OneCoin fraud proceeds. He layered the money through bank accounts in the Cayman Islands and the Republic of Ireland. He then transferred the funds back to Ignatova and other OneCoin entities, disguising the transfers as legitimate outbound investments. For his services, Scott was paid more than $50 million. He used the money to buy luxury watches worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, a Ferrari, several Porsches, a 57-foot yacht, and 3 multi-million-dollar seaside homes in Cape Cod, Massachusetts. In January 2024, he was sentenced to 10 years in prison. $4 billion vanished. According to court documents and asset recovery investigations, authorities have seized some assets connected to OneCoin: bank accounts, luxury properties, vehicles. But the vast majority of the stolen funds remain unaccounted for. Ignatova owned properties across the globe. According to verified records from the International Consortium of Investigative Journalists, she used a Dubai shell company to purchase a $2.7 million penthouse apartment overlooking Palm Jumeirah. That property was sold in late 2019, 2 years after her disappearance. She owned a 4-bedroom penthouse in London's exclusive Kensington district. It featured a swimming pool and Andy Warhol paintings, including one of Elizabeth Taylor and Red Lenin. But where is the rest? Cryptocurrency tracking firms have identified multiple blockchain addresses still holding misappropriated funds. Offshore accounts, shell companies registered in tax havens. Money scattered across jurisdictions specifically chosen for their banking secrecy laws and weak enforcement. For the victims, recovery has been virtually impossible. Jen McAdam, a Scottish woman who lost over €250,000 investing in OneCoin along with her friends and family, founded support groups for victims. According to her testimony, she realized OneCoin was a scam in January 2017 when she discovered its so-called blockchain was simply an SQL database. She's been working with authorities globally for 3 years. Progress has been slow. In Uganda, young investors like Daniel Lienhart described how friends sold OneCoin packages to relatives, collected commissions, and disappeared when the scheme collapsed. He and many others were left with nothing. The educational packages they purchased? Worthless. The OneCoins they mined? They never existed. OneCoin couldn't have operated without help. Massive help. According to court filings and banking investigations, OneCoin moved billions of euros through the international financial system. Banks in Singapore, Bulgaria, Germany, Ireland, the Cayman Islands, the British Virgin Islands, the United Arab Emirates. How did suspicious transfers totaling billions pass through anti-money laundering checks? Where were the compliance officers when fake investment funds with no legitimate business model were moving hundreds of millions? Offshore jurisdictions played a critical role. OneCoin Limited was registered in Dubai. One Life Network Limited was registered in Belize. The Finero funds that Mark Scott created were registered in the British Virgin Islands. These jurisdictions offered banking secrecy, minimal oversight, and the ability to create shell companies with anonymous ownership. The Panama Papers and Pandora Papers revealed how professional enablers, lawyers, accountants, and wealth managers facilitate massive financial crimes by establishing complex offshore structures. OneCoin followed this exact playbook. Major financial institutions processed OneCoin transactions. Real estate markets in London, Dubai, and the United States accepted OneCoin proceeds without adequate scrutiny. When Scott's administration company for the Finero funds began asking questions about the origin of certain funds, he simply terminated the relationship and found compliant banks willing to process the transactions. The system wasn't just broken. In many ways, it was working exactly as designed. Ruja Ignatova remains one of the FBI's 10 most wanted fugitives. She's the only woman on that list. The FBI is offering up to $5 million for information leading to her arrest. According to FBI Special Agent Paul Roberts, the agency is operating under the assumption that she is still alive and has no information to counter that belief. Alternative theory, Bulgaria's Bureau of Investigative Reporting and Data published a bombshell report. According to Bulgarian police documents cited in the report, a police informant overheard Georgi Vasilev, the brother-in-law of Bulgarian drug lord Christoforos Amanatidis, known as Taki, saying in an intoxicated state that Ignatova was murdered in November 2018. The report alleges she was killed aboard a yacht in the Ionian Sea on Taki's orders. Her body was allegedly dismembered and thrown overboard. The alleged murderer, Hristo Hristov, is currently serving a sentence in a Dutch prison for drug trafficking. The story relies heavily on hearsay. No physical evidence, no confirmed witnesses. Bulgarian authorities haven't verified the claims. The FBI continues its search. Whether alive or dead, Ignatova's legacy is undeniable. In June 2022, she was added to the FBI's 10 most wanted list. In August 2024, a UK court ordered a global asset freeze for Ignatova and her OneCoin associates. Her story has been told in a BBC podcast, downloaded over 3.5 million times. A book. Hollywood is developing a film with Kate Winslet reportedly attached to play Ignatova. If you think this story is over, you're wrong. New leads emerge regularly. For updates on this case and other major fraud investigations, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. OneCoin continues to cast a shadow. Rebranded ventures have emerged, targeting the same communities, the same promises, the same lies. Somewhere in the world, there are answers. Maybe Ruja Ignatova is living under a new identity, protected by the billions she stole. Maybe she's dead, her body lost to the sea. Maybe she's hiding in plain sight, confident that money can buy invisibility. But what we know for certain is this: 3 million people believed. They wired money. They recruited family and friends. They held on to worthless tokens, convinced they were on the verge of wealth. In Uganda, students couldn't afford school fees. In India, families lost their life savings. In the UK, mortgages went unpaid. In Samoa, church communities were torn apart. $4 billion didn't just disappear. It represented dreams, security, futures. And the systems that should have stopped it? The banks, the regulators, the compliance officers. They asked questions too late, if at all. Ruja Ignatova understood something fundamental. In a world dazzled by innovation and disruption, people want to believe in revolution. They want to believe that wealth is just one click away, that someone brilliant and charismatic can change everything. She exploited that belief. She weaponized hope. 7 years after that Ryanair flight to Athens, the crypto queen remains a ghost, a phantom in expensive clothes. A woman who convinced millions that OneCoins were real, until they weren't. The FBI still searches. Victims still wait. And somewhere, the truth waits too.